DC here. Hi guys and gals. Yeah, it is Sunday morning, and as you can see probably from where I'm sitting, I'm in the kitchen having my morning coffee. It's not that late actually. It's 8:35, so yeah, it's just kind of like Sunday morning. I had a little lie-in for me. I got up at quarter to 8. And Mrs. DC is still napping. I'm going to try and show you something. It's too bad I don't have a telephoto lens on this right now, but you'll see. I'll try and show you the doves. Are they still there? Yeah. If you look on the tree over there, on the tree, there's a bunch of doves. I'm sorry, I have a 35 milliliter lens here, so you're not going to be able to see much, but the doves are over there. We got doves, and on the top of the neighbor's house over there's only a few now. Actually, sometimes there's I don't know, 50 or more. Those are, let me see, pigeons. And as you can kind of imagine, they're not always clean. The doves aren't too bad, actually. We don't really notice much about the guano part, but my neighbor's roof is surprisingly nice, but they can be pretty noisy. And sometimes they just run off all at the same time, and another one just came. And yeah, sometimes I see why they've just flew off, I should say. The neighbor's daughter just walked out. Okay, anyway. Yeah, it's -6. Yeah, I think it was -7 earlier. So by Canadian standards, this is sauna weather. Because where my mom is in Quebec, they are having -30, -35 Celsius. You can look it up. Let me see. I'll just tell you. -40 is where the Celsius and Fahrenheit come together. So -40 is -40, even if you're American or European. So -35 is really, really cold. It really is. And I always smile because people keep saying dumb remarks of the style like, well, you're Canadian, you should be used to it. I said, what does that have to do with it? I mean, and then first off, I've been here for close to 40 years. Yeah. And when we were, Mrs. DC was telling me yesterday, because I mentioned that, and she said, well, remember when we were in Africa, and the Africans were sweating like pigs and hot, and saying how hot it was, and this and that, as much as we were. Of course, I don't have as much dark skin, so probably I wouldn't burn quite as quickly. But sunburns are not just for white people. Anyway, that's enough. I didn't want to get into that. Yeah, so like I said, having my coffee. It is a Starbucks makes pods for Nespresso. We have probably slightly different type of Nespresso coffee machines. So the pods, I'm just looking at the birds. Pods are different size, but Starbucks has them made by Nespresso, so they're the exact same pod, I would say. Of course, the coffee can be slightly different, but it's quite nice, and it's a little bit cheaper. I say a little bit, not by a great amount, but a little bit cheaper than the actual Nespresso one. This is what they call the breakfast blend. It's kind of mild. It's nice. I mean, it's not something you'd probably want to have in the afternoon if you want a bit more kick. But it's nice for getting up and listening. Because as our bedroom is just over the kitchen, if Mrs. DC gets up, I can hear, and then I know that time to have breakfast. Yeah, yeah, we had the kids over yesterday, and it was fun. It's always fun with them, and I mean we played outside, and we have a corner. All our grounds, we have a cedar hedge that goes all around the grounds, and at the far end, well, of course, even if I point to it, it doesn't mean much to you. But at the far end, there's still patches of ice, I should say ice, that have left. They're basically a bit of a crusty snow, and just a little few patches left. So I was able yesterday, nevertheless, to make a very reduced sled ride with them. So they was like, "Grandpa," and come on and do that. So it was fun a little bit. And we had one corner where we had a quince tree. You could always check out quince. I didn't even know what a quince was before coming over here. It's kind of like a big fruit. I was almost going to say a mixture between a pear and a very hard apple or whatever. And it makes very good jellies and stuff like that. But its leaves come off very, very late for some reason. And there was now some leaves a little bit around the tree now, so we gave them little rakes and told them to, clean up the leaves. And of course, for them it was a game. Later on in life, it'll be work, so they will want to do it, I suppose. But as it was a game, it was nice and fun. There wasn't much. I mean, there was just a few leaves, a small basket worth. So yeah, I mean, it's something different having kids over. Yeah, I was mentioning, was it last week, that the new guy that started with me, he's the age of my sons, and we've been traveling a lot and chatting and so on, which is really nice because I haven't, in the last few years, I've barely had anybody to really chat with over there at work. But here we were traveling in a car, and he was driving, and it was interesting because all of a sudden I realized that even if he's a rather young man, he's quite conservative, and I am as well. So I was a little bit surprised, actually. I think he's okay. He's not like all the right of Genghis Khan, but for his age, actually, he's probably slightly more conservative than most. So I wonder if it comes from where he worked before, from his family, and so on. I think, I do see my boys, as I think every pattern of parents and children, my boys are more to the left than I am. But then when I think of when I was their age, I was probably more to the left than they are now, politically wise, and I shifted over. And some people say, well, you didn't have to shift over, and I always say, well, I did because I opened my eyes. But I won't get into that because a lot of people get insulted when they say that, so I'll stop there. Yeah, I did get some news though that disconcerted me from yesterday, is that actually I got it really late and I haven't communicated it to the family yet, but my mother-in-law, who's in an elder's home, she has a slight Alzheimer's, or anyway, she has Alzheimer's disease, but not very, very bad, but she's 90 years old. And there was an outbreak of the disease that we should not mention unless the bots take us off. You know what I mean. There was an outbreak on her floor where she is. And we got a last minute message that she has contracted it. She, as far as her health goes, she's in very good health, even though she's 90 years old. And like I say, with slight problems of dementia, but she's still 90 years old. Just for the record, because some will wonder if it was a breakthrough, It was, because as far as I know, she was even triply vaccinated. So, yeah, anyway, as we all say, it happens. And I have large discussions, well, not anymore, but at some point with people at work, because people will tell you, you see, you see, you see. And I keep telling them, no. Well, actually, I do say, yes, I do see, but you don't see that when we say something is, I just give out a number now. Let's say if we say something is 80%, well, there's still 20% chance that you will get it. And in many other areas of life, if we say there's a 20% chance, we'll say, oh, that's still pretty big. And that's just the way it is, anyway. Enough said, enough said. But I'm, of course, praying and wishing for all the best. I mean, I wouldn't want her to go that way. That wouldn't be nice. Because now, I mean, like the family, of course, now the family can't go see her and so on. Yeah. Pains. My dad, when he had, he was in his last days, and he had his Parkinson's disease. Some of you might remember that. And, how long have I been talking? 11 minutes. Oh my goodness. I'll stop this quickly. But I'm just saying is that he basically passed away from influenza. So, and wow, what a way to stop. Yeah. No, anyway, I think I should stop on a more positive note. Yesterday, like I was saying, I was chatting with some people and they were saying, what, there's no snow your place? And I said no, and I got pictures from Quebec, from one of Mrs. DC's girlfriends when she was at university. And I do have to admit, actually, when you do see the winter scenes with all the sun and the sun, but the snow, it is really cool. There are certain things that I do miss from over there. Not the cold, but a lot of the sceneries, nevertheless. So that'll be DC signing off. I never realized I chatted so long. DC signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.